Jimmy Lewis, and this is Tech Talk Taco Tuesday, the dirt bike podcast where we talk about motorcycle and motorcycle-related products. For episode number 45 of Tech Talk Taco Tuesday, we get into some good questions. We got Logan and Jorge, spelled Jorge, in studio. We introduced Logan's moment of silence, I think. We're making Tech Talk Taco Tuesday into a reliable podcast, which actually might be true if you're listening to this right now. And we also talk about what tires Jimmy likes to run on his bikes. So you never know what we're going to get into, but you're going to find out. The show is brought to you by Climb has been with this show since the beginning, and I really appreciate that. What I like even better is that the gear is super awesome. I've been wearing it since the beginning. It's evolved a bunch. It's very durable, really good fitting. They have features on their gear that are pretty much industry leading, and I appreciate that because that's what I wear when I get to do fun stuff, and I'm comfortable, and I like almost everything that they make. So if you are looking for a change of gear or you're looking for the best gear, I think you won't be disappointed by trying Climb. So give them a look. Along with DDC Racing, that's Delaney Drive Components. They're makers of very strong, durable, chromoly, chrome-plated sprockets. If you've seen these things, they look like Swiss cheese. They're super light for a steel sprocket. They last forever. They come with a 1-year warranty, and they are built by riders who really care about keeping riding areas open. So if you're interested in some good drive systems parts, check out ddcracing.net. That's Delaney Drive Components. Also, Taco Moto. So you've heard us talk about Taco Mike on the show. He's been a guest host a few times. Taco Moto Co., that's how you find him on the web, sells a lot of the kind of cool and unique tuning products that you need to get your emissions-compliant bike running up to snuff. So if you have questions, he has answers, and he can also sell you the stuff. So if we can't answer the question here, which we hope we can, maybe he can answer the question over there, and he can also sell you the parts that you might need to get your especially KTM or Husky dual sport bike running like a champ. Anyways, it's tacomoto.co. Now, here's the show. Tech Talk Taco Tuesday is coming to you live from Pahrump, Nevada. We're at the Dirt Bike Test headquarters, our compound here that now includes a flat track, as you can see. Hey, Logan, I know this is kind of inappropriate to ask a 14-year-old boy, but what are you wearing?
Shirt?
No, on your feet.
Boots.
Yeah, you didn't even get a chance to take your boots off, did you?
No.
So, yeah, that's how we do it here. We ride, and then we roll right into the podcasting studio. Where it's actually video right now, and you're so unfortunate to have to look at us while we're doing the show, but I'm going to pass this down over to George right past Logan because he's not allowed to have any of this. You need a water, Logan? Are you dehydrated? Here's water. Here's this. And George, you got your own glass? You can put some in mine. So this is the show where we eat tacos. We talk about dirt bikes and dirt bike related problems. You, the viewer, if you're watching live, you get to ask us questions. We can answer about 9 out of 10 without referring to a reference manual. I am sitting here with my co-hosts tonight, Logan the Talker and George. It's spelled Jorge. And he is the one that's generally in. That's a big pour. This isn't beer. This is tequila, my friend.
I'm well aware of that.
Yeah.
I told some guys at Romero's. They said, "What's on the show tonight?" Trying to get the secret intel because there's been some teasers.
Was it the guys from last week? Was it? Was it Hans and Wyoming Wayne?
I can't remember names. I'm worse than you.
Okay.
And I said I'm going to get back, try and get Jimmy in the bag, and we'll make this fun.
Okay. So I'm a professional, George. So we answer most of the questions that are brought to us and try to help you out. If you're not watching live, if you comment on this video when it's on YouTube, you can ask questions there. We sometimes give out our call-in number. I might do it halfway through the show if there's some need for it. If someone has a really detailed question they want to call in and ask us.
But we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for a few sponsors that we have. And by sponsors, I mean partners, because we're not racers, so we partner with these companies. First is DDC Sprockets, Delaney Drive Components. You want to hold one of those up, George? Yeah. So don't drop it on your keyboard. It'll do damage. These are very, very nice sprockets. They're the ones that I use on my bikes and my rental bikes, and they're Swiss cheese-like. They look good. Nate Delaney is very proactive in the off-road land use community, and that's good with me too, because I am as well. So if you want a good sprocket, check out DDC. And I heard that if you use the promo code Tech Talk, you might get some discounts on the sprockets. So you heard it here first. I'd also like to thank Kate's Bars for helping us out, and also Climb. Kate's Real Food. These are both kind of Idaho companies. I survive off of Kate's Bars because my eating habits include pizza, tacos, and Kate's Bars. And best trail food you can get. And Climb makes very good motorcycle riding gear. Everybody knows that. So, yeah, maybe I'll have discount codes for those. Actually, if you email me, you've got to figure out how to do that, so you have to do a little bit of work. Then I can give you a discount code for Kate's bars, and you will then get addicted to them, and you'll have really good trail food that's healthy and made by a super fun chick that rides dirt bikes. So that's what you need to know. Is that all I need to know, George?
Yeah, I think so.
Should I?
Tell us about those things you were giving out as swag this last week.
Oh, the neck warmer thing.
Those look pretty cool. I didn't.
Those are so. I wish I had one handy to show you. If I wasn't out riding around like 10 minutes before the show, I would show you one. You know where to find one, Jim? Yes. There we go. Somebody's going to go dig one up. So the neck warmer is it's like a sleeve. It's like a baklava. So it's like a tube, and you slide over your neck. And so if it's cold, you just have it, hanging around your neck. And if it gets really cold, you pull it up over your mouth. And if you don't have this nice beard like I do, like Logan, one of these days, Did you
get one, Logan?
You didn't get one? We didn't give him to
See how you roll, Jimmy?
He probably didn't ask. So. But it just keeps you warm when it's cold out, and then you can use it like a hat. If you're a bald dude like me, you can pull it over your head and use it like a hat.
It almost looks like, is it sort of an insulated buff?
It's an insulated kind of buff thing, but it looks pretty cool. Climb one. It's better than a buff. Actually, they make those light ones too for more deserty conditions. Like if you're going to pull it up when there's a sandstorm, this one will work like a sandstorm cover too. I run them most of the year. Really, I always have one in my pouch in my backpack. So good piece of equipment. Actually, I think they're like $19, and once you use it a couple times, if you really use it, it keeps you warm, or it keeps the sun off your dome. Best $20 you've probably spent in a piece of riding gear in a long time. So, yeah, I was going to say, should I apologize to everybody I'm going to offend after I drink this right now?
Everybody's sorry. I'll probably be sorry because I don't have much of a filter either. And I don't even know anything. So
yeah, well, yeah, you just prod me all the time. So, by the way, thanks, Gabe, for getting our slideshow up and telling me to turn the soundboard on. That's why when you guys all turned on earlier and the feed was going and I had to turn it off because I thought I had to reset something, and it was called the turn the switch on the soundboard. And then Gabe did a really good job of getting our two shows that we did last week. We did number 44 last week. This is 45. And we did another one on the Tour of Idaho. So if you have questions about the Tour of Idaho, that one was being uploaded. We had to shut it down to start this show because we didn't want to plug up the internets here, break the internets. So, yeah, that's all I have. So how are we going to start this off, George?
Why don't we answer the people that took the time to write in and everything, and that'll help encourage them to give us questions.
Right.
Get that out of the way.
So you know why Logan's my favorite co-host, right?
Yeah, because he speaks. He's so well spoken.
He doesn't say anything. He doesn't interrupt me like you do. And but it's important right now, Logan. Remember when it's important for you to talk? Remember? Tell everybody when you're supposed to talk.
When they start drinking or drinking. Yeah.
Yeah, it's when it's time to take a sip. Yeah, then so we don't have any of that dead air time. So this is that Climb neck warmer, neck sleeve. That it's the Climb neck warmer. It's right here. I'm holding it up. It's a nice tube, and actually this one is special because it has our logo from this riding school that I do. It's probably not a very good riding school. Because I teach it, but yeah, Climb was nice enough. They support me at the riding school quite a bit because I go through a lot of gear there, and these are our kind of giveaways that we have for those. So yeah, comes in. That's one's in a bag. It's in a nice little bag. So thanks, Jim, for bringing that over here. I should probably see if somebody wants to win one. I should probably start a contest without actually having a contest, right? But that would require me actually doing work instead of riding, and it's like me sending T-shirts out. I need a janitor here. Well, actually, I should be the janitor, and Logan, you should do all the important stuff, like sending out shirts, and then when people win contests, you can send the stuff. Gabe used to do it, but he's like way above that pay grade now, right? Actually, I'll tell you what. The only reason Gabe's sitting here right now is because I owe him money. I've got, all the tip money. I haven't given it to him yet from this weekend. Haven't wrote him his check. Nothing. I got to write you a check too, by the way. Okay. Yeah, let's start with the first question. Vet Rider.
Vet Rider said, counterbalance versus non-counterbalance two-strokes. Your thoughts, please.
I like counterbalance. Less vibration and smoother power delivery, and it adds some flywheel type effect that doesn't act like a really heavy flywheel. Even on 125s, I ran heavier flywheels, but there was a point where on bigger two strokes, you actually felt the flywheel. The 125 I didn't because I kept that thing singing. I mean, it was open, and but on the bigger two strokes, when they kind of get kind of chuggy and real low end, the flywheel can make it, as much as it kind of keeps the engine running, it can make it a little bit sluggish. But I've done things like weighted, going from an aluminum clutch to a steel clutch, because they used to have aluminum clutch plates or the drive plates inside there, and then but having the counterbalance in there kind of adds a little bit of inertia, and seems like without too much of a penalty, seems like it works pretty good. So, I mean, it's kind of going the same speed as the flywheel, but maybe it's like a different. It's not as maybe not as big because they are kind of small, really. But yeah, I think once you ride a counterbalanced two-stroke, you won't want to ride one without it, I think. We have a question from the Peanut Gallery.
The counterbalancer also helps the life of the crank.
The
and the case
counterbalance helps the life of the crank.
and the case bores where the crank goes through.
Okay.
It takes part of that.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it could. I mean, generally, like on automotive engines, stuff that's designed a long time, is multi-cylinder, and they're trying to fire them in ways that doesn't produce that single cylinder kind of thing. But yeah, four strokes are mostly counterbalanced, almost all of them. Yeah, so. I know on some of the race motors, on some of the race motors, they used to take them out or lighten them quite a bit just for throttle response and things like that. But then they were also being rebuilt, to make it work. So, okay. What does Eric and Katie Garrett ask?
Can Fastco flex bars make a noticeable difference in arm fatigue? Just acquired an 08 KTM 300 XC.
Non-counterbalance, by the way.
And trying to decide if the bars are worth $350 to me.
Well, it depends on what $350 means to you. So everything has a price. But reduce fatigue, arm fatigue. So I have bad wrists. I basically had career-ending wrist injuries. And the flex bars are, when I'm riding, off-road or motocross, if I want to ride tomorrow, I need to run the flex handlebars, or my wrists will hurt enough to where I won't where I won't go riding tomorrow. So for me, yes. And that's, you know, when you start amortizing it over time, you know, that, you know, $350 over the fact that the very first pair of flex handlebars that I ever got at an intro back in, you got to ask Cole. Actually, we did a tech talk with Cole quite a few, at Fast Company not too long ago. And he reminded me about how long those bars have been on my bike. So I've never been a set. And I have them on a lot of bikes, and I've done a lot of tip overs and crashes with them. So they're good, strong handlebars, and so how you can set them up a lot of different ways. So I would think, they can definitely, for me, they definitely make a difference in fatigue.
And you've got a lot of those in your rentals, right?
I have them. Most of the rental bikes have them on as well.
And what would it take for her to try one on a rental bike?
You're trying to get me to tell people to come to my class?
No, I'll say it. Come to his class and try it out, and maybe some of your fatigue, something
and then
we
you'll
can work on.
Then you'll get one of those neck warmers with a little diamond logo on it. It's actually pretty cool.
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Next question, Logan. What does Tom Duncan want to know?
Any more news on the 450L rally after Ricky's win?
So he's asking about Honda making a rally version of a Sierra 450L because Ricky Brabeck won the Dakar like basically last week. No news at all. I don't think those two are really too interconnected. I kind of suspect that they're going to do that at some point. I think so, but I don't know. There's no indication that they will. You should just buy a 250 and pretend like you're Ricky. Gabe did. Gabe took our 250 rally, CRF 250L rally, and he went all Ricky Brabeck out in the desert. He said tried to. So
that's kind of when I got it away from him. That's kind of a comfy bike. I like it. I mean, it's nothing wrong with it to me.
We Gabe and I sat down and actually did a test podcast that pretty soon he's going to work on that too, right? Yeah, he gave me the thumbs up. So we're going to have that test on that bike up sometime soon. And that will be a real podcast. That will be the Dirt Bike Test podcast, because that's what it is. It's a dirt bike test. So, that's coming. That's in the works. So those are the questions we got off of the post we made today. That's usually where we grab our first ones from. And I'm going to go into the forum right now and dig around, and then we're going to get to the ones that were on the YouTube videos. So as we scroll down here, such abuse for the kids. Oh, thanks, Mark. He also commented that that's how you really pour a glass of tequila, which I like. I like just little tiny bits. I like sipping it.
You're abusing the kids, and I'm the one with a broken rib.
Do you really have a broken rib?
Yeah.
You're pretty sure?
Yeah.
Was that from today or yesterday?
Today.
On the mini bike? On the 50?
That was a horrific get-off.
It's all on video.
It's
titled like George's belly flop. I think that's what I titled it if you want to. And it's George spelled Jorge, which is kind of strange.
I DNF'd. It didn't make
Mexico
May.
For George.
So
you did. Well, you just were happy to sit around and comment on it. But I told you that thing was dangerous, right? You did it on a 50. He did it on a little XR50.
Yeah.
That thing, just dangerous. Yeah.
And you were trying to pass me when it happened, right?
No, I was way behind you. I was way, way behind you. I was trying to stay away, but it was kind of funny. So let's see. Steve Conklin says the light ones can be dunked in water, worn around the neck as an evaporative cooler. He's talking about the baklava kind of thing that we talked about at the beginning of the show. So... And, geez, my Facebook is blowing up with weird stuff. Let's see. What other questions do we have here? San Felipe Bob's trying to pimp my class. Taking his class is the best way to ride with him. His trail rides are like KOM from dawn past dusk. Right. Okay. Todd Kelly. Hey, Jimmy, how far out do you adjust your axle blocks? Do some bikes benefit from the blocks being far back versus up close? Does it affect the geometry as much as raising or lowering the forks in the triple tree? It's kind of it's different because, you know, where the bike's pivoting and how the swing arm works. Where do I run them? If the bike is just a normal bike, let's just say any bike that I've had in the last 5 years that I've tested, I have not felt the need to run them very far forward or very far back. That's not to say that the manufacturers didn't suggest, hey, I think we should run this, you know, far back. Or in one case, I know on one of our test bikes, they even went to the effort to add an extra link to the chain so they could run the wheels back farther. So it can and does make a difference. It's kind of the same thing in reality as moving the forks up and down in the clamps, but it acts different on the rear shock. I mean, so like I said, I'm not, if I want to change the handling character, and that's one option. Generally, the forks are so easy to slide up and down. That's the first go-to. I would use that as my first step. If I wanted it to have more weight on the front wheel, or, you know, wanted more stability, I would move up in the forks. But if I couldn't get what I wanted that way, or you know, then there's always the option to move it around. But a lot of times that comes with having to change the gearing, or, you know, getting a new chain, a new longer chain, or breaking a link out of the chain and making it shorter. But I could see if you were doing more tight technical stuff, you might want it to be, you know, farther forward. You know, in other words, kind of shortening the wheelbase. And if you're doing more desert stuff, maybe you'd want it back. That would be the kind of classic things. But I don't think it's as picky as, you know, in the old days, there were definitely bikes that you would do that kind of stuff on. So, Todd, hopefully that answers your question. But it does. I think that the forks are probably, you feel it twice as much. I mean, I'm just you know, for the amount of movement. You know, when you move the forks like 3 millimeters, 5 millimeters in the clamps, you will feel that, and it would take, you know, probably 5 to 10 in the rear axle before you're going to notice it all that much. So, yeah.
How many chain teeth or sprocket teeth is flipping over that thing on the KTM?
On the KTMs, it's 2. KTMs and Huskies, it's
2 to the back.
It's 2 on the rear. Yep. So everybody wants me to explain donkey bone. Yeah, because I was on some of my posts, I talked about it. Like when Ricky, if you want to follow a funny story, follow Ricky Brabeck's Instagram stories. I don't really follow too much, but I would just kind of keeping tabs on him. And like on the Dakar, they were hilarious. And he was always filming, you know, like generally it was, you know, waking up in the morning, waking up his motorhome buddy Nacho and Johnny cooking them breakfast, and there was something about there. But when they would go to dinner each night, and I remember this from when I was at dinner, you're like literally, you're scared walking up to the dinner line and wondering what you're going to get. And one day he kind of ran his phone around his plate, and he was being real careful about it and moving it around. And he kind of went through the soup and the vegetables or whatever it was, and the pasta kind of thing. And then he kind of moved it over to this, it kind of looked like a sort of a piece of meat, and he goes, donkey bone.
I think one of the ones after the rally, he had it looked like everybody had a goat's head on their plate, with it giving you the stink eye, kind of the whole head with everything in it. And yeah, a lot of weird stuff like that.
I saw that too. I'm not too experimental with my eating. Christian Parker asked, Jimmy, you know Ricky Brabeck? I was curious that he wasn't more emotional at the finish after last year. After last year. What happened with Paulo this year and the first time an American has won the Dakar? Any insight on why? No, I know him. I can't comment. I mean, I haven't talked to him a whole lot. You know, I've texted him a few times since he's been back, and we don't talk about racing too much in the show. In fact, I don't even know if he's qualified to come back on this show. I mean, we usually only have like guests once. Yeah, because they always come in here and they say funny things, like they try to teach riding schools and No, you can come back anytime.
Those are just sound clips.
So here's the thing. If you want to, actually, I know we have a question about it. So Dan Ford, a couple days ago, he said, "Hey, Jimmy, Johnny, Skylar, and Ricky Brayback all hanging out in the same room. Tech Talk with a bunch of legends. Congrats on the hard work paying off at Dakar 2020." They did the hard work. I just pointed them in the right direction most of the time. So yes, those guys were hanging out here. We were doing, I think it was right before we were doing kind of the last big rally training we did previous to the Dakar. And so if you want to know which episode Ricky was on, he was on episode number 5 of Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. If you want to talk about like kind of a long time ago, Andrew Short was on episode 18, and Johnny was episode 41, and that's the one that Dan Ford was talking about. So yeah, those that was good old times. That was Ricky was on at Ramiro's, and he was there the night that I had my 200 tequila. So yeah, he was celebrating with me. That was my victory. He celebrated me with my big victory. So I'm celebrating in his big victory. But yeah, super stoked and on all the American guys' performance over there. Ricky especially, and I mean, maybe we can get him on, Chris, to talk about that kind of stuff. But I'll let him talk about it. That's not me to interpret what someone else thinks. Kevin Omo. Why did KTM not put a 6th gear in the 450 XCF like they did on the 250 and 350? Kevin, that is a great question, and I have the same question. I don't know why they didn't put it in there. Probably because they can just take that SX motor and throw it right in the they don't have to do anything to it to make an XCF. So, and in reality, you only need 6th gear to go really, 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 really fast. That you're probably, like most riders, are probably not going to run out of gearing on that bike unless you're doing, desert racing. And if you're doing like normal desert racing, you can gear your bike up enough to make it go fast enough and still get away with kind of the tallish first gear. But that brings up another question. That's what this note's for right here, Logan. So this other guy that I know, this guy Andrew Short, anybody heard of him? He was on Tech Talk. I just talked about it. He called me up today. He's fresh back from Dakar, and he asked me. He said, "Hey Jimmy, I was on your website, and your guys." He asked me, "Were you the one that put that 6th gear in the KTM?" Because he has a Husky FX, and he's doing the same thing. The guy hasn't even been home for 2 days from Dakar, and he's throwing a 6-speed into his bike. So, because he's one of the few people that can use a 6th gear, by the way. So he called me up and was asking me about it, and I said, I don't know anything about it. The website tells you how to do it, but I was going to give him Trevor Hunter's phone number and have him call him and ask all the questions. So I do think that that bike should come with a 6th gear, but I generally ride the EXC, and it has a 6th gear because I like to haul ass too. So. Is that a good answer, Logan?
Yeah.
I did okay?
Huh?
Good. So it's time for you to talk. Read me a next. Where are we at? What do we got? A question over out in the field? No, we need a. You don't worry about that. You worry about that.
Does the rally, the 250 rally thing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Tomik Razor commented, hello, did anyone try to swap this non-adjustable fork with, let's say, CRF 250X fork? Will it fit?
So Tomik is talking about the CRF 250 rally that Gabe is tested. No, we didn't try that. I'm sure somebody tried to do something like that. I don't know why you would, because you would have to update the shock as well to match it, and I think that would be a tall order. So the answer is no. We didn't. His question is, will it fit? I don't know. I don't know why you'd want to do it, but you'd probably have to swap the clamp over, and then the clamp would have to be spaced properly, and that fork is going to outperform that chassis quite a bit. It's going to have to be either shortened or you're going to have to lengthen the rear. Kind of a long reach. What does Meter X ask us?
Is this street legal?
Yes, it's street legal. We answer all the questions here. And Tim Grouchot asks,
Awesome review. Thanks, mate.
where do you think Tim's from?
Australia.
Not New Zealand.
What?
No. Australia, yeah? Yeah. Not Canada? Oh, so that's good. That was a good catch, Logan. That's good. One other question. Vernie Ogden asks, and he's talking about the JD jetting tuner video we have. It says, great video and info. It has helped my 19 KTM 300 XCW, and it's a work in progress. I'm still having issues with the startup when I chop the throttle. Based on your description, it sounds like it is the red and blue accelerator pump setting. So I actually replied back to him on that video, and in my opinion, when it's startup, that's the green light. That's the very first setting, and in combination with, because it's kind of like your pilot jet, in combination with the green blue, which is the idle setting on that tuner. So not necessarily the one we call the accelerator pump setting, which is red blue, but the chopping the throttle. And I'm not sure what the issue on chopping the throttle is. Does it run on, or does it kind of detonate? Who knows what it does? But you didn't explain. But the cool thing about that is make big changes in a single thing. Just if you're at 3, go up to 6 and try it, and then go down to 0 and try it and see if you notice a difference, but just one at a time, and see if it fixes that individual thing. It's so easy to do. You can be riding along, and I mount them on my crossbar pad, and I push mode, however many times to whichever button, and I ding, ding, ding. And as long as you go back to 0 throttle, it makes the change and it works, and you can test that stuff so easy. So my take is it's probably going to be either the green or the blue green that's going to fix the startup, and then chopping the throttle. I don't know which it would be, because it depends on what RPM you're chopping the throttle at that is making a difference. So Vernie, hopefully that's That probably answers your question. I think the colors for the idle circuit is blue-green, when it's blue and green flashing at the same time. Okay, back to the forum. Rich Barrows asks, could FMF Mega Bomb headers give the CRF 250 RX more torque low end? I would say they could. My experience with the Mega Bomb, specifically the Mega Bomb, the Power Bomb does the same thing, is it does something to the throttle response. But knowing FMF, they wouldn't sell it unless it boosted the power. They're really all about power. So if they don't see a power increase, they don't sell it. But I really like Mega Bombs, what it does to the initial throttle response. And if you're getting a full system, don't be the guy that yanks the damn insert right out of it. Or if it comes with an insert, try it with the insert in and the insert out. Try it both ways, because you might be surprised on how it affects that throttle response. So, okay. Steve?
I'm answering questions here on the internet. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah. You're supposed to talk you're starting to act like Logan.
No, you told me to shut up. I interrupt you.
I did?
Your inside voice came out once again. Who would have thought that?
You're allowed. That rib must be hurting.
You know what I'll say is Patty Blaze, who I think is pretty close to Ricky, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she said,
well, so
Ricky's not an emotional guy, kind of holds that stuff in. And what I want to say is those are just sound clips, I mean, who knows what he really said? You know, it's just fake news.
It's fake news,
right? Yeah.
Did you get it off the internet? Kind of like this show.
Yeah, like this flat track thing.
That was documented live. There was no filter there.
Yeah, that was pretty funny, even though I'm paying for it now.
Logan, did I smoke you today?
Yeah.
What'd you learn today, Logan, riding? What did I tell you?
Go deep in the turn and then hit the brakes.
You need to go to the Danny Walker American Super Camp. That's a good school.
Yeah, we had a blast there, and I was really impressed with Mr. Lewis, how he took it in.
I learned something.
You know, I didn't know what was going to happen. You know, I mean, you guys are way above my league and everything, and I didn't know what was going to happen when egos started butting heads. And I was impressed. It said a lot to me.
That actually was a good student.
Yeah, I mean, at one point you said, I thought I rode a bike pretty good to the class, you know, because everybody has expectations.
He is teaching such a high level skill. I mean, flat tracking, there is so much to everybody. It's just flat. I mean, you're just sliding. I mean, there is so much to it, but he's actually teaching you how to do it like the pros. And he's teaching a very, very advanced skill. And I'm scared to teach people advanced skills because, you know, generally bad things happen unless you have the basics covered. And even me, I was there just breaking bad or doing stuff that wasn't natural and kind of breaking what my habits were telling me. But I've learned a lot about just, you know, I can feel how the bike's working and you know, in that environment and doing different things. And I had a blast. I thought it was really fun to go try something new, I mean, his instructors were really good. They all pointed every time. It was kind of funny because every time I was struggling with something and I could tell, they would tell me exactly they would tell me exactly what I was trying to fix, and they would tell me exactly how to fix it. They identified exactly what I was feeling and said, "You should do this." And I'm like, "I'm trying. I'm really trying."
No, I think it was really good. You've taken a couple things out of there, and you know, Danny's supposed to come out and do a school with maybe his number one guy, Robbie Peterson, but I think I'm going to call him out. Danny Walker, you're too scared to come out and just see if you can learn something from Jimmy Lewis.
I don't know about, you know, I teach people how to like let the clutch out and what else do we, stay in balance. It's kind of important, right?
Letting go.
Remember.
Bingo?
Letting go.
Letting go of the bike.
Yeah, not holding the Honda 50 all the way till it drives you into the ground and breaks your ribs.
You should have let go. Yeah, because it's really not that far of a fall. I mean, your legs are kind of short, so it was kind of a fall. So, hey, back to the thing. So Patty Blaze is Chris Blaze's wife,
right?
And Chris Blaze had the same Dakar success that I did. He's also been on the podium, and he's also finished fourth. He was a KTM factory rider kind of after I got done. So he was kind of a couple years after. I don't know specifically which years he was there, but so yeah, it's a small community. They're all high des people. They're up there in the high des. So
you know, you're not going to blow your horn here, but
I think
that's pretty cool that, you know, you achieved your goals and things that you did, and held those records and sat in those places and are such a huge part, you know, of this next wave of people. You know, I come out here and I just drive around and I do some logistical things when Jimmy's doing some of these trainings with these guys. So I've met them, which is cool.
So
we just make it work. Don't interrupt me. I'm going to interrupt you.
So when Ricky talks about team, it goes all the way down to guys like George and Jim here, who when we do these trainings, we're going out and watching out to make sure that nothing bad happens. You know, we have, whether we're taking gas to super remote locations or just have somebody close by in case something goes wrong. We're tracking with, we have a pretty elaborate tracking system that we're paying attention to where everybody's at and what everybody's doing.
But that's all okay.
I'm thanking you.
You're cutting me off because you're a humble guy. So. I'm sitting there with my wife, Carrie, and we're watching the Dakar like we have for a number of years, and I didn't know who Jimmy Lewis was a long time ago. But anyway,
what's wrong with you?
So, but we're watching it, and I'm going, yeah, I've met that American, that American, that American, that American. All these guys have trained with Jimmy, and it's that is pretty cool that you can be part of that. You know, you could be sitting here just getting drunk and being an old guy like me. and breaking ribs out here silently. Or you can be
that's
involved.
a popular pastime in
with
Pahrump.
putting America up there at the top, and that's a big deal. And I reached out to Donald, so that hopefully he recognized Casey Curry in the side-by-side, Jimmy train. Just tell us who you trained for navigation in this rally.
So
just list them out.
The guys that came to the class were Ricky, Andrew Short, not class, but I mean they came and took my basic rally training class because I require that, because it's like I'm teaching you a new language and I want to make sure we're all speaking the same language. But it was so Ricky, Andrew Short, Skylar Howes came out, Kyle McCoy, who also finished, Garrett Poocher, who unfortunately had a crash and did not finish but was running really well. So Casey Curry,
all the nav guys.
And Sean Bierman.
We're all the navigators.
Berryman came out. Sean, literally the day before he got on the plane to leave to go to Saudi Arabia, was out here working with me on stuff. And that at that point, I was telling him, I go, Sean, like, you're going to be practicing for the first half of the rally. This is, and they came out a few times earlier in the year, but just schedules and time permits. And then Austin Jones and Kellen Welch. And Kellen is another former KTM factory rider who spent a lot of time over in Dakar. Kellen might be the most experienced Dakar person, because he was in Robbie Gordon's truck for almost all the years. The year that Johnny Campbell wasn't in there. So there's a. It's funny because before I went, originally started American participation in Dakar was Chuck Stearns, who was a Southern California desert racer who got the opportunity to go over, and he rode a Sonoda Yamaha. And I didn't know a whole lot about Chuck. I learned more after he had passed away from some of my friends that are checkers. And then Malcolm Smith actually went over, but he I believe he did it more as a journalist in a kind of a support car. And then Danny Laporte. And Danny Laporte was my teammate in 1997 when I got to go back my second time. But I always joke with Danny that Danny did it as a French guy. Laporte. Danny is the same year as Brad Lackey won his first World Motocross Championship. Danny won a 250cc World Motocross Championship as an American. He was an American guy. And then he, as things progressed and stuff, he was doing off-road racing and doing all kinds of stuff. Danny is one of the most talented motorcycle racers, most diverse motorcycle racers I've ever met. But I always joke with him because he got second in Paris to Cape Town one year. And so he is up until Ricky, was the highest placing American that did it with a French passport. Because he couldn't have done it as an American because they went through countries that Americans were technically not allowed to be in. And I know a little bit about that too, because I got flown into Libya to avoid terrorism one year. So interesting. So
you should have a sip of tequila over there, because your glass is clearly not going down like mine.
Because you want me to quit talking.
Yeah. I'm going to take this thing over and run it.
Okay.
How many people like that? Give me some likes here.
Oh,
should Jorge take this over?
Actually, if you liked it, send dollar bills. Don't those little
sponsorships
thumbs.
A little here.
It's work. It's a work in progress. I've been working all that time when I say I can't come out and play. You guys are out in my garage like cleaning carburetors and Jimmy, when are you going to come out and show me how to water the flat track?
Yeah,
because I'm kind of particular about that. And by the way, I do.
I'm particular about everything. I know there's a bunch of people here.
Oh, geez, you just blew up the face things with likes or something.
I always do. It's my curse. It's probably gay Hispanic males.
That's why you
talked about that.
That's why you have 8 followers now on Instagram.
12. I think I was up to 12. I was surprised when I went live on the flat track. I think 5-6 people came up.
Logan, how many followers do you have?
I don't know.
Doesn't your whole school follow you?
No.
No? Okay.
Anyway, Jimmy's about to take a sip because I'm probably embarrassing him. But, yeah, I think that is just so cool. I mean, it's cool that people I've met just being Jimmy's guy, spiritual advisor, and life coach. But, no, just Jimmy's guy. Hey, George, you want to come down? These guys are going to be – I'm doing rally training. We need to relocate cars. But, I'm sitting there watching the Dakar rally, and – for the first time, these American guys are placing first. I'm even getting teared up thinking about it. You know, I'm going,
I'm not very
my
emotional.
God,
so.
Jimmy Lewis is doing this. And I remember, because I'm not a racer guy and I don't follow that stuff. The first time I came out to help him with a rally training, he says, yeah, this Andrew Short guy is going to come out. And I met Andrew in the roundhouse there, and he's limping around. I said, oh, you hurt your leg, you know, or something. He says, and he's such a good guy. He says, yeah, he's just a good man, a family man. He says, yeah, I heard it in a race a couple months ago. And then I'm, you know, walking around, whatever, you know, Google him.
In a race.
Short. I go, oh, yeah, I saw, Jesus Christ, this is a Dakar here. I saw all this and everything. And the cards he was dealt this year were not good. And I think he handled them real well.
Yeah.
And I want to, you know, if he chooses to, I hope we see him back and in the mix and everything. And I don't know. He's a guy to follow. He's just a good man. He's really impressed me. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, probably one of the nicest motorcycle racers I've ever met. Just like I've known him from when I was a journalist, when I'd have to interview him and stuff like that. He was always so cordial and nice. He was almost too nice. It's like you wanted him to kind of get mad because then maybe he'd say something that he wasn't supposed to.
Well, we were talking and he says, you know, I've heard about Jimmy, met him a couple times or something. He says, I really kind of thought the guy was an a-hole or whatever. But then I started wanting to get into this rally thing, and I heard, oh, Jimmy's the guy to go to or whatever. And so I did. He says, I'm kind of figuring Jimmy out. This is good. You know, I like him. This is a great guy.
Don't say that out loud more. You're not allowed to say that. It's good times. I mean, it just motorcycle people in general are really, really just I like motorcycle people. I like dirt bike people, and yeah. So hey, and by the way, Andrew's the one that told people on this podcast to ride with their feet down in the sand. So don't go to his riding school.
Well, I got
to take something back. He definitely can ride through the sand dunes without a tire. And if you haven't seen the video, go. Okay, so follow Andrew Short. Go follow Andrew Short on his social media and roll through his things, and you will see he had something like he was dealing with jet lag, like riding through the sand dunes without a tire in your rim. And the only reason he didn't have a tire in his rim because he was such a nice guy that he gave a KTM. He's on a Husky. And they're kind of the same, but not the same. He was on a Husqvarna, and he gave his wheel, which had a good tire on it, to Toby Price. Competitors are allowed to share parts and
Andrew had got some penalties and some mishaps, so he was really out of the mix for a podium deal. Toby was still kind of
still in there. I mean, yep.
You know, whether it's a team decision, that's just the kind of guy he is. And he gives the guy his wheel, and I see this video, and he's going up this thing. And who is this goon riding off the back of this motorcycle? That's supposed to be Andrew. And I'm like looking at it. I'm going, I got to talk to Jimmy about this, see if this is the right body position and all that stuff. And I'm looking at it, and I watched it about 3 times. I go, holy,
yeah,
that's a rim. There's no tire on this thing on a dune I cannot ride up. You know, I don't know. I couldn't ride up that thing. And he goes up there, and I thought, man, that really kind of... It was a big statement to me of what these guys are going through out there.
Yeah.
This morning, seeing what these guys were posting, I can tell Casey Curry and Rick, they miss being there. You know what I mean? They really miss being there.
After,
as happy as they're to be.
I will tell you from having done that, you get so focused on what you're doing, and when you get kind of injected back into normal life, whatever your normal life is, it's painful. And what you hated 3 days earlier, I mean, I kid you not, when I was racing rallies, you get 7, 10, 12 days into the rally, you wake up in the morning and you just had the worst sleep and miserable I was in a tent, because that's the way we did it back in the old days, because it was all uphill and snow both ways, but we were in a tent, and you can't wait to get on your motorcycle. About 10 minutes after you're on your motorcycle, you can't wait to get off this stupid thing why does it only have 2 wheels, and why is it cold? Why all day long? And you just say, because all I want to do is actually eat. I really want to get off this motorcycle and just eat. And then you get done, and remember me talking earlier about food. You get off your motorcycle and you're walking to the food tent. Well, you usually have to wait like 3 or 4 hours so that they start serving food. But you're walking to the food tent and you're going, oh no, what are they going to serve me? I can't wait till I can go to sleep again so that I can not worry about riding a motorcycle and eating, and then the cycle repeats itself. You literally, like, all you want to do is the next thing, but you don't have a phone. You don't have to talk to people. You don't have to answer emails and all the, no interviews. I mean, Ricky's probably going through interview hell right now. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why. No, I didn't call him and ask him to be on the podcast. When he's ready, it'll be way better if he comes in here on his own time when he's ready. And it's funny because all of them right now are saying, I'm taking a month off motorcycles, which I totally recommend, but I guarantee you in 1 week, in 1 week, they're just going to want to go ride their dirt bike.
Andrew's work bike, he wants a 6th gear in his Husky.
Yeah, he's putting the 6th gear in there. I don't know where he's going to use 6th gear in Texas.
He's been home 35 hours or something.
Yeah, he'll call me. He's going to go on a ski trip for the family. He's going to have a good time, and then he'll call me up. Let's go rip through the desert. So, yeah, 6th gear. So okay, we got a lot of questions there, Logan. What do we got over there? Okay, I'm going to answer this one. Robert Walker, lots of Honda 250L power out there. Questions out there. What's the best 3 upgrades for more power? Well, Robert, I'll tell you something. If you do one, you have to do another. It's all kind of a system. So what I would do is I would do something with. Initially, I would try something with opening up the airbox, adding a fuel tuner, and doing something with the exhaust. So those 3 things in combination, hopefully somebody has a good setting someplace. I'm sure there's a bald guy on the internet that probably has a video about it, and he'll sell you everything you need. So not me. But those 3 things. Go ahead. Jesse Whitehead.
Really interested in Taco Tuesday, especially KTM dome washer and thermo setting talks. I had a dome washer failure on the on my Husaberg 570.
Whoa, Husaberg 570. Yeah, like you teared up a few minutes ago when you were talking about me racing. Yeah. I tear up when I see the word Husaberg 570.
I took the tires off those rims, by the way. It's sitting there because you might want to look at the tubes and see how you want to put it together.
My Husaberg?
The blue rims out there.
Oh, wow. Because they need, because those go on the Husaberg.
See, it's the small people.
Husaberg, yeah, my Husaberg's blue, and it rips tires off the rim because it has quite possibly a lot of power. So let me.
It has to be operator error. So
what what
he's talking about here?
Oh, well, so he has a couple code words in there. It's actually kind of hard for Logan to read this because there's code words in there. So he's saying that we had a really interesting talk talking about the dome washer that's on the output shaft on KTM's, Huskies, and Husabergs. They're all kind of the same.
I just finished changing mine.
You changed yours, yeah, because yours was leaking also. Yeah. So, and when he says TAT, that's the Trans-America Tour. And so he uses Husaberg as a dual sport bike, which it could quite possibly be the best dual sport bike ever because it has, like, so much power. A lot of power. Like if you want to roll the throttle on and the intake noise talks to you when you're accelerating and lifting the front wheel off the ground. That's what a Husaberg 570 does. You've ridden mine, by the way, yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. It sits there. It's hanging out. Like when we're at the school, you know how we all switch bikes?
Yeah.
How come you don't jump on the Husaberg 570?
I don't know.
Chicken.
I've only ridden a little bit.
It's kind of like Gabe coming out to the flat track. Oh, because I'm wheeling it. That's right. Gabe rides it. So you should ride that Husaberg 570 on the flat track, and then all the dirt we spend the time prepping, it'll be in the neighbor's yard. Yeah. So, okay, let's get back to the question. Let's see. Didn't break the case. Okay, failure. Dome washer failure that didn't break the case. It was probably torqued with an actual torque wrench, he says, with red Loctite. The Dirt Tricks washer, which is a high-quality washer. During my daily check, I would check its tightness. That's where I screwed up. By manually checking it, I disrupted the Loctite and lessens its effectiveness. That's my theory at least. My countershaft also had excessive wear, so I'm sure that played into it. It's paint marker witness marks from here on out. Oh, so he agreed with us on putting the paint on the bolt, on the washer, and onto the sprocket. It's really not a problem. Those. I mean, that's a really tough place on the. I see you over there, Bob. I see. Hi, Bob. Mojave Bob is waving at me, and I'm going to get back to the question. But if he keeps waving me like that, I'm going to turn the camera around on him, and we will watch him run around here like a rat. Like you wish the rats would run away like Bob does when you point a camera. So back to the thing. Those sprockets, I mean, you think about how many thousands and thousands of bikes have this setup and stuff on them. And it's a good thing. It's just you got to be careful when you assemble them, and they do use Loctite on them. And like he said, there could be some failure points on it. And George is going to tell me what happened to his.
Well, I was going to say, I saw that. I think even before the bike was out here, the symptom of the inner seal is the starring. You see the oil from the washer going out,
working its way out.
Yeah, and I saw that, but I'm learning from you. I just, I don't care. That's not even oil to worry about.
It has to drip on the. I mean, really, if your bike's leaking oil and it's making, there's oil seeping down out of a valve guide or out of the valve cover, or maybe a little bit out of the base gasket or someplace in the center case, out of the ignition wires. I've seen oil get pumped out of the wires that come out of the ignition, or out of the. Yeah, like we're
the charging wires.
Yeah, charging wires.
Yeah,
put 100,000 miles on a dirt bike, and I promise you,
what ignition wires you'd pump oil through. So.
Yeah. Well, there's pressure in there, and the wires come out of the outer where the stator is. So it's the wires that go to the stator. That happens, but unless it's dripping on the ground, I'm not really too concerned with it. I mean, if you want to know how much oil it takes, just take your bottle of oil and spill some on the ground.
Right.
And the spot on the ground from your little spill out of the bottle, like 3 or 4 drops, is going to be huge.
Well, I learned that at work. So with the police department, you look at blood on the ground or whatever.
Oh, no. Here we go.
You see a pretty good blood stain. That's nothing,
Let's not talk about blood and all that stuff. But, and this show,
no, anyway,
no racing, no blood.
You were talking
injuries.
about the washer and the nut and everything. I think that nut has a cutout in it. It's not really... It squishes the washer down, but it bottoms. The nut bottoms against the sprocket.
It does. It has a step.
It's got a little release reveal there.
Yeah, we went into this in pretty heavy detail on the other show. So if this is really fascinating you right now, more than like watching me and Logan and George here, you can go back to Tech Talk Taco Tuesday number 44, and or is it the Tour of Idaho one? Which one was it? 44 Tour of Idaho. Anyways, you just got to listen to all of them, and pretty soon they'll all be up on the YouTube. They'll be podcasts. So, is this the next one? MP says,
was excited until I saw the co-host.
See, this is putting the pressure on you guys.
No, this is an old one. This is on the website. This was just off the last show, so we're not going to name anybody, Taco Mike. But so everybody comes here to see me, and then they look and see you guys, and then they decide whether they're going to hang around. But we're at 41 right now, live viewers. So you guys are doing. It's a little weak.
You're doing okay.
It's a little weak. So
Victor promised us he was going to blow our numbers up today somehow.
You got to get Victor out. People have to.
We got to meet
have
Victor.
The right to know. Victor's got to come here, get his gear.
I was going to
guest host.
I was going to send it to him, but he went to Mexico for a little while. So
he's back.
So I got the gear. It's right there, laying on the floor. It's ready to be shipped.
But I keep waiting for the helmet test, and there's a helmet question in here.
Okay.
Somewhere.
So we're going to keep going down the line. What's the next one?
John Mullen.
Okay.
Can you start uploading these to podcasts again? I listen to them while commuting.
Gabe's probably failing at something here, huh?
Well, I'd like to blame Gabe, but
let's just do it anyway.
Okay, so they would be, if Gabe were more proactive, he would have the whole podcast thing figured out. But in reality, Gabe is working to the level he's being paid. And that's a problem, because I've told Gabe since day one that look, when DBT makes money, you're going to make money. So right now, Gabe is almost paying me because he drives over here in his car. I mean, I'd give him a motorcycle, but he likes driving his car. Motorcycles come with free gas most of the time from here. Yeah, sometimes they're empty, but most of the time they're full. But now he drives his car over here. So Gabe is paying to work for you right now, all you people. Yeah. But pretty soon we're going to have sponsors that actually float enough money so that Gabe can put them up on the podcast world. We're going to do it like we'll have a fancy song at the beginning. Didn't we talk about the song the one time?
Yeah.
We had a discussion about that.
It's about 12 episodes ago.
That's a bad idea, but I think we should do it anyways. Yeah, especially since this tequila's
just
starting
like
to kick in.
Just like the clothespins.
Oh, that's about the.
That's an inside joke. Yeah, how about a shout out for Gabe?
Yeah,
I mean, Gabe's you were trying to mention behind the scenes people. Gabe is a behind the scenes guy, and start clicking them buttons and liking Gabe.
Yeah,
good for Gabe.
Hey, Gabe, what's your social media channels? You got any? He's not allowed to be on social
media. No, he doesn't
media.
do the social media thing. He's still pure. We should love him for that.
Okay, what's the next one? What's that one? What's Ivica KX450 say?
Take off the headphones. It's so stupid, but good show, guys.
But Howard Stern does that stuff, right?
Okay, I put the headphones on because I want to look stupid. No, believe it or not.
But you do it well.
I know. Why are you watching? That's what I want to know. Like, what are you doing watching? This, oh boy, this is going downhill quick. So no, the headphones.
Good if that's all you got to say. Take off the headphones.
Really? That's the only thing we're screwing. That's the only thing we're
stupid. You should. You know what? Follow Jimmy and all those, and look at me going down on that 50. If you want to look stupid.
Well, it's okay. So we left Logan without
bike setup.
We left Logan without the headphones right now. But the reason that I'm wearing headphones, and this is just something like I'm going to talk about, sound and which we're frankly we're horrible at. If anybody knows anything about sound, they would notice this. But I'm wearing them because it allows me to hear certain things that could be bad to you and bad other ways, and it kind of. I don't even know what it does. So I just think it looks cool. So we'll just be in a disagreement. Next question.
Joseph Castleman.
Yep.
Next week, how about tire selection for 20 Street 80 Dirt? And your personal setup on your 350 and 500 EXC.
So tire selection. So he's talking last week from the video last week, and he's talking about this week, which is now. So Jimmy Lewis runs Kenda Parker DTs 86% of the time, front and rear. And then I switched my rear tire over to a Kenda Equilibrium. Sometimes when I'm going to be doing more technical trail riding, when I want to get traction without spinning and I'm not going to be like kind of racing, I'm going to be more really putt trailer riding, I run the Equilibrium. And then every once in a while I will run a Kenda Ibex. If you notice I said Kenda 3 or 4 times, that's because Kenda helps me out with my riding schools. They support my riding schools. And so I really, they are really good tires, and I would probably buy those tires if I were having to pay for tires. But, George, since I smoke people all the time on the flat track, Kenda gives me tires. Yeah.
Is that... Yeah, that's your flat track.
It's my flat track policy. You saw the roost coming off my tire. And,
so speaking of that,
and they know I have a Husaberg 570, which just eats tires. I mean, their tires last way longer than any other tire on my Husaberg 570 while it throws roost. You can ask Big John about this. He's been a co-host on the show too, and he just has to. He hates riding behind me because he's just constantly ducking because my Parker DT is just throwing. Via the Husaberg, throwing so much roost, it's like somebody's shoveling dirt on him. And you're silent. That's perfect.
Well, the tire thing, I've kind of changed gears on all that because I've chosen in those Kendas, you got to look at the soft rubber, hard rubber thing. People go, oh, I want this brand tire because they last so long. I'm in adventure bike riding. I want to do that. And I'm just like, screw it. I'm going to buy a good soft rubber tire that's going to give me traction when I want it because I don't want to fall down on my butt and break a rib. And you put cheap tires. It was bike setup. That's why I crashed that 50. I was just sending it in there. Pull it up.
I'm gonna go back. You were on some really good tires, but I'll get back to that later.
But I'm gonna pull one from my buddy Jim. You get cheap or whatever. You say, I want these tires to last forever, so I'm gonna get these cement cinder blocks, that are zip tied to my thing, and they're gonna last, 12,000 miles or whatever. And when they don't have traction when you need it, you're going to feel really good about having that extra money on the tires you didn't change in your pocket when you're laying there on the side of the road. You're going to go, yeah, that $100 I saved over this amount of time. So I've kind of changed it. Just change your tires and keep the soft stuff if you want traction. If you don't and you want distance, be my guest.
Yeah, so traction isn't free, and generally when you get a really long-wearing tire, it has to do with the compound of the rubber and stuff, and so that compound probably is not like gripping, and that's what causes wear is the tire, gripping and being able to kind of dig in or hook on things.
Why would you want that? Why would you want your tires to grip the road? Actually,
any place.
Why?
Yeah. It's
silly.
And the good thing about the tires is for most people, they're easy to change. Well, I have some videos about how to change tires, but anyways, you can change the performance of your bike with the tire change. There's a lot of tires it's what's connecting you to the ground. So that being said, and I just said like all the Kendas that I run, the Kenda tires. There are other really good tires. Dunlop makes really good tires. Bridgestone makes really good tires. Michelin makes really good tires. Maxxis makes really good tires. They're all just a little bit different. It's like flavors of ice cream. You go to 31 flavors, there's 31 flavors. And we all three walk in there, and we're all going to get something different because that's what we like. And not to say that you should get stuck in a rut. And if you're starting to feel something like, I wish my tire would do something better, hopefully there's a source of information out there. Check dirtbiketest.com because we have a lot of different tire tests up there, and you can learn a little bit about different tires. There's certain tires that have certain characteristics that are better. Some are better at bump compliance and chassis, the way they make the word chassis work. So motocross tires, the two big brands were Dunlop and Bridgestone forever. Dunlop, Bridgestone, at least in the United States. When you go over to Europe, then all of a sudden it's Michelin and Metzler had a voice there. But so it's Dunlop and Bridgestone, and Dunlop makes really good tires. In fact, they win almost every motocross and supercross race, all the amateur racing. They are the tire in that realm. But I always preferred the Bridgestone over the Dunlop, and the reason was, Jimmy Lewis turns at a Bridgestone lean angle. Like when I go into a turn, the way I want a tire to feel, the way it hooks up, so like for me, riding on a Bridgestone was really good. In fact, I preferred the Michelins over the Bridgestones. The Pirellis. I'm sorry, Pirellis are big over in Europe. Preferred the Pirellis over the Dunlop, and it was just personal taste. And not to say that 80% of the people we had testing with us and stuff disagreed with me when we talked about this. The guys that didn't care what brand it was, they just said this is how it worked. So it's kind of all on, you have to try this different thing. So if you're struggling with something where your bike doesn't feel like it's working, man, change the tires. So easy to try something different. Talk to your buddies.
Maybe that's my problem.
Yeah, you listen to me and you've got Kendas.
I got to change tires.
You were on
50.
You were on Michelin's today, by the way.
50. You had 56 pounds of pressure in that 30, tire.
35 front and rear. But you know what? If you talk to any of the guys that know anything about mini bike racing, you run mega pressure in the tires because on a 50, if that tire squishes down, you lose speed. You want it to be like a cement wheel at that point. You want it to roll really fast. That's why I told you to get off that thing. I said from the minute.
You warned me several times.
The minute I saw you riding around that thing, I said, that looks dangerous, right, Jim? I looked petrified. You might as well have just taken your feet off the pegs and rode through the sand. Yeah.
I was doing fine on that thing.
Yeah.
Sending it out, both feet on the pegs, right until it all came apart.
Hey.
There's a bunch of stuff on here. So Victor, what did he say?
What did Victor say?
No, he commented on my thing. That video of George spilling the Menudo on flat track is funny. Thanks, Victor.
Okay, Victor. Victor actually asked on the video. I saw that on the video. He asked, "Hey, how can I get invited out there?" You have to come and be a co-host on Tech Talk. That's what you have to do because you have some interesting stories. Because man, you ride some pretty cool places down in Mexico, and then he's a CR 500 guy, so we know he has mental issues, and then he's riding XR 400 and B2V wearing Levi's, so he's okay. He's a regular stinking dude that's into dirt bikes, and that's great.
He's a real deal.
And like his popsicles are off the chart, so you have to bring popsicles, and then we'll dip them in tequila or whatever we do here.
Let me interrupt. It's like 8:13. And I got to relieve myself. If you don't get a bunch of likes, I think you should just shut this down.
You can leave. Go ahead.
People need to start hitting that. Because I know how much that means to you. You know, emotionally. That thumbs up. Hey.
Yeah. No. You.
But
go.
I'm gonna excuse myself.
Yeah.
I'll be back so you can talk about it.
Oh, Jesus blew up the thumbs up.
Take my headphones.
Hey, Logan, you want to look stupid and wear headphones?
He hears like a seal, right?
Yeah.
Dolphin.
Okay, those things work better like that, I've heard. So, so tires, Joseph, like I said, I run the Kenda Parker DTs. I think they're a great choice, especially out here on the West. But there's lots of choices for tires, dual sport tires. I think you're asking about a DOT tire specifically, and that's the good thing about the Parker. If you want to go on like kind of the one end of the spectrum, there's the Dunlop, the D606, Pirelli. Actually Dunlop just released a new one that was that the guys used at the ISDE. So there's don't put the TKC 80s on, the ones that come stock on the bikes. You just want to make those go away. They're more for street riding, but lots of choices in that market. But that's what I run, and I have not met anybody that actually gave them a fair chance. By the way, run the Parkers in the hard direction only, not the other way. MP says,
"You're talking me into it. Only decision in whether to keep my 500 EXC-F or to sell it."
So MP is talking about, he watched my KTM 300 video and said that he wants to buy one. You have to keep both of them. I mean, why wouldn't you have like a 300 and a 500, and next thing you'll have a TTR 125 and be doing flat track in your neighbor's yard? It's the way it works around here. So onto the CR 450X, and Dan Troutman commented, "Hey, bud." Sounds like Ricky. "Hey, bud, I have taken some bikes to George at ESP. Great work in the past. No complaints at all. I'm ready to pull the trigger on the CR 450X. Yay or nay?" Yay. Yeah. Why wouldn't you? I mean, if you're considering it, I don't know what you're coming off of, because you didn't. I think he was watching either our Tech Talk with George or a CR 450X video. If that's the direction you're going, you're not going to be disappointed. And George's small suspension work made that bike really, really good. So I miss that bike, especially, when I'm going fast across the desert. That was a really, really good bike for that. I had a good time. So Joe Doyle asks, what does he ask? You better pull that thing down. Oh, look, it's a question for you, right there.
Jimmy and Logan.
Yeah, that's your name. You shouldn't mispronounce your name.
How do we follow you?
Does
Logan have an Instagram hashtag thing or anything?
Yeah, he has. It's like Logie something.
We don't use it, though.
He doesn't use it?
Why
No.
not? What's your race number?
73. Well, now it's 373.
Logan 373, right? Yeah. You did well out there racing with these old guys. You podium, right? Yeah.
Sometimes.
Okay, back to the question. Don't let George distract you.
What helmets do you both wear? What helmets do you recommend for the best safety? I have a Troy SE4 with MIPS poly shell made in
Chino, not China.
Yeah. Would I be better off with a $500 Carbon SE or a Bell Moto 9? Does the material make a difference?
He asked you that question, so you have to answer it. I'm not done with my tequila either.
I wear a Suomi because my dad got it for me.
Well, your primary sponsors here in the audience, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and does the material make a difference?
I don't know exactly what he means by material.
He's talking about the materials in the helmet. So if you had a helmet made out of paper mache and the foam out of your car seat,
then yes.
It makes a difference. So yes, materials make a difference.
Yeah.
Right? So what do you think? Would he be better off with a $500 Carbon SE4 or a Bell Moto 9?
How fast does he go?
Or how much does he land on his head?
The proper question is, how are you going to crash?
Yeah.
That's the proper question. Because if you tell me how you're going to crash, I will give you a more detailed explanation on the type of helmet you should be wearing. In fact, if you're going to crash at like really slow speeds and not hit anything, that's too stiff, you could wear a mountain bike helmet and be better off than if you're wearing a very stiff-shelled, high-dollar motorcycle helmet. So it really depends on what you're doing. So I'm going to go back to I default back to this all the time. The number one most important thing in helmets is, you know what the answer is? I must have said this when you're sitting next to me. This is like a test at school, and if you give me the wrong answer, you're going to get a bad grade. How it fits? Right. Perfect. How the helmet fits, number one, because that's an A+, bro. That is the most important thing about your helmet, how it fits. And it needs to fit snug. Most people wear a helmet that's too loose. Bruce Porter from Arai used to preach this because he used to go to shows, and he custom fit helmets for racers. He custom fit helmets for me a couple times, and he would tell me how important the fit was. And luckily, I fit into a standard Arai helmet absolutely perfect, into a medium helmet. I was a medium. He called it medium round. He said, "Bam, this helmet fits you perfect." And he didn't have to shim anything or do anything. Every once in a while, he would play with the cheek pads, especially on road helmets. I road raced once, and he tuned me into the helmet better that way. But number one, most important thing, fit. Number two, the only other thing that when we did helmet testing, when I was involved in it, was that the lighter the helmet, generally, the better it performed in tests as a whole. Like it comes down to F equals MA. The more mass you put into the object that's slamming into something, the more force you have. Your head's a constant. If you can put a lighter helmet on your head, it was generally better. And here's where it gets tricky, because it depends on what standard the helmet meets. The certain standards required heavier helmets, and therefore they performed worse in most of the tests, but better in catastrophic tests. Now, catastrophic tests were that's a super gnarly test, and generally it depends on how you look at it. Not super survivable, or maybe it's survivable. It's like borderline. So, a lot of information there. But anyways, so lighter is better. And you notice we haven't talked about price, right? We haven't said anything about price. And he brought price up. Should I spend this much money on this helmet? I never saw any correlation with price versus safety, ever, in any helmet test I've ever seen. Now, that's not to say that certain higher priced helmets might have better quality control, have better fit, might last longer, features, not fit because fit's individual, but have better features, things like that. So but if you're adding MIPS, and MIPS cost more, or any of these rotational dispersing elements, and it costs more, I believe that is an advantage. Like if you're going to pay an extra $50 or $100 for a MIPS equipped helmet, do it. and I haven't personally done any tests. I've seen some test results in that.
You've augered in a bunch of times though.
Oh yeah, the Climb Cryos helmet with the Colroyd.
Yeah.
Torpedoed that sucker. Yeah. I'm still here. and I sent it back to him so they could analyze it. It was brand new when I did it.
You mentioned light, and I rode a short while for the police departments and stuff, and all the old guys that did like 20 years, 25 years in there, they all had neck problems and stuff, and so a lot of those they were Sear helmets, Super Sear. I don't know if you're aware of that. They were Kevlar and stuff, and so the lighter the stuff really caught my attention, and I always look for lighter helmets and stuff. So
for comfort.
No, not for comfort.
Oh,
just
for safety.
I want to ride forever, and
okay.
I don't want neck problems because I got 5.5 pounds on my head rattling around.
Yeah. So what helmets do I wear? I currently wear a Climb helmet quite a bit. The F5, the F5 Colroyd. I wear a lot of VMAR helmets. It's funny because they used to be very expensive and now they're inexpensive, but they're also still light. They still fit my head really well. Good quality helmets. I wear the Climb F3 a bit. Look at that nice helmet over there. I haven't had a chance to wear it because I haven't been with my camera yet to shoot photos on that thing, and I haven't put my special stickers on it.
I want to show them the guitar.
Oh, the guitar. Yeah, look at that. That's a nice helmet. You can look. You actually, if you're listening, when you get home from driving, you can type in Climb F3 helmet, and you'll see the nice carbon helmet that's up in there. Bob had some issues with the carbon layup. He worked in aerospace industry, and he said something about carbon. But I mean, that thing looks good, and I don't think the structural stress of the, who knows, right? Yeah, it's not flying, right? Well, it will when I'm on it. Especially when I'm riding a Husaberg 570. Because if this was on my head and I was riding a Husaberg and I twisted the throttle, it would literally come off the ground and start flying.
F equals MA.
I'm in my head.
You told me other stuff I didn't believe, but, I'm kind of a believer in most of what you tell me.
Yeah. Christian Parker says he's finished with his first beer and leaving the shop, working late on the 790 that I'm supposed to ride. Adventure race bike, and my brain cells won't take any more of Jimmy. See ya. Well, finally, there's a smart person in this group. so okay. Hey, we're gonna start. How many more questions do we got here?
One
more question. Okay, this is how we're gonna wrap it up.
Brad Lou, thanks for uploading to YouTube. I missed the live show. My bad.
Gabe, that's to you. Yeah, thanks for uploading to YouTube.
Give Gabe some likes.
Yeah, give Gabe some likes because he's sure not.
There's a bunch of stuff coming in. Victor has something. He wanted to know what the open face helmet was you're wearing at King of Motos. We should come back and talk a little bit about racing and stuff.
Racing? We don't talk about races here. Oh, we could talk about racing.
Shut it off and.
Yeah, so I want to let everybody go home and spend some time with their loved ones and their family. Quit watching us on the.
They're so sucked into this, they're discounting, pushing aside all their family.
Yeah, it's okay. Hey, Jay Middleton says Tech Talk Taco Tuesday is totally NMF.
What does that mean?
That's a super secret thing, but let's just say not my friend.
Oh, well,
it's a term of endearment. Trust me.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like when I say I live in Valley of the Dirt People because I love it. Okay, running down here. Let's see, Mark Daniels. When you get support from a tire sponsorship, will you run those tires? However, I know that at given certain races and racers, they would rather put their preferred tire during their Baja race selection because they work for them. Yeah, Mark, I know a lot of people that run different tires than what they're sponsored by and stuff like that, but you're not going to get that out of me. If I ran a different tire, I would probably tell you, and I'm always trying to be really clear about when a company supports or helps me out. Canada does not support this podcast yet, but they should, because I promise you, I can talk good about almost any tire brand. Well, most tire brands. I really can. And because they have good tires that work at certain things. But the Kendas really fit for my schools. They're great things. So good. Tequila popsicles. Bob, you would drive out here for that, I'm sure. Your wife. That's Katrina.
Yeah.
How do I say that?
You know how to say it. But anyway, yeah.
Katrina.
So I think Victor.
I
if
mispronounced
Victor
it.
would bring 1, 2, 3, 6, 8, 12 popsicles. That
Tequila
would be a
popsicles.
sponsor,
Yeah.
right? Sponsor an episode.
Yeah, he could sponsor episode. Baja Diaries. That's Mark. He's on. He's the one that did the video. That's a love or hate relationship with the CRF 250L. You should actually watch his Honda or his KTM 690 Husky 601 videos. Those are inspirational. Let's see. Rolling down here. Boy, you talk about helmets and you open up a can of worms. George. Oh, wait.
So how many people want to see Logan dressed as a crash dummy? I'm still waiting for that a whole episode.
We'll just
of
smash
Jimmy
it.
Lewis helmets.
We'll just smash
and
it.
Logan, have your sister paint you in those black and orange, cross hair things.
Hey,
Hit that button.
Yeah, hit
Get
that.
some likes.
Hit the like
Hit
button.
that button.
Hey, Logan, whose bike were you riding today on the flat track?
My sister's.
Yeah,
There
is
you
she
go.
bummed? When's she gonna come out to the flat track?
I don't know.
Who? Okay, this is how we're gonna end this. Who on the internet wants to see Gabe versus Logan's sister on the flat track? We'll put it on Dirt Bike Test Live. Because she doesn't ride much, does she?
Here, I'm hitting
just
the
learning.
button.
Okay, you're hitting the like button
I'm
already.
I'm hitting some laughies. I'm hitting some O's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for watching us. I know these things run a little bit long every once in a while, but good times. If you have a chance, share this video. I know Victor does watch parties. They're probably hilarious. I wish I had time to watch them, but I have to do all the work that Gabe doesn't do on the backside of this program because he's out driving his car around, bumping his stereo, and wasting gas
He
out
was
here.
cool. He had a
in front.
Jeep and a dirt bike at one time. I remember that. Back in the day, you had a Jeep and a dirt bike.
He's into
right, Gabe?
economy cars.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Got a good stereo.
Oh, now he's giving us the evil eye over there. We're lucky we didn't take calls.
God, we're their adult role models. Can you believe that?
No, they hate us. Kids hate us, right, Logan?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna run you off the track next time. I almost got the kill button, didn't I? Almost.
Almost. I thought you were just like touching me, and I was like, oh, he's right there.
Well, I know that's strange too,
Oh,
like touching
yeah,
kids. I was asking you what you were. I was asking you what you were wearing earlier, and now I was trying to touch your kill button.
How did I do out
Okay,
there,
on
Logan?
that note, we're gonna shut this show down. But we'll see you next week on Tech Talk Taco Tuesday, and for George, spelled Jorge, and Logan, we'll see you out in the trail. Cheers, guys.